So what does this tell me? No matter how far we think we are from each other and how different from the other, we are all very intimately interconnected. In spite of this, however, news regarding some people in the world, some parts of the world don't seem to be worthy, has been completely muted because we don't believe in our interconnectedness. I was born and raised in Ethiopia. I'm of Eritrean descent. And there's currently a genocide in Ethiopia. There is a civil war accompanied by a genocide. It's an estimated 500,000 people have perished in the last 18 months in the northern state of Tigray. 7 million people are under siege. No food, no medicine, no internet, this whole entire time. Tens of thousands of Eritrean refugees are unaccounted for. The Washington Post writes, the world's deadliest war isn't in Ukraine, but in Ethiopia. So David Volodzko writes in The Nation, if we compare the situation in Tigray to other ongoing armed conflicts, the numbers are startling. Looking at civilian deaths, for example, the war in Ukraine has resulted in less than 3,000 Ukrainian deaths, according to the UN Human Rights Office, while Tigray has seen upwards of 500,000, as per estimates by Ghent University. However, how many of you have seen it in the news? Show of hands. Like 3. How many of you have seen people changing their profile pictures to stand in solidarity with Tigrayans? Let's not forget that we are all so intimately connected. What happens over there will come to our door one way or another. When I started speaking up about a genocide in Tigray, calling it a genocide, I got incessantly attacked and harassed online. But that was not the most difficult part for me. The most difficult part was seeing the silence, minimization, denial, and false equivalency by many Ethiopian and Eritrean intellectuals. Intellectuals, you would hope, would loudly condemn this in a united voice. It became really hard for me to speak to some of my own relatives or even longtime friends. It took me a long time to wrap my head around what's going on. I'm still extremely disturbed seeing genocide denial in action. But what consoles me is that there will always come a time when you feel lonely if you stand in the right side of history. That's the whole point. If that wasn't the case, then there wouldn't be a need to speak up. You may find your community for collective action, but you might still find yourself lonely in terms of how whoever you consider to be your community acts. You might find yourselves at odds with everyone else in your quote-unquote community at times. So a journalist and Nobel laureate Maria Ressa said, you need to actually live your values when it matters the most, not when it's convenient. And the true test of your values is when you stand to lose something.